Hey guys, Brad from Drathrorol Games here, and I am super excited. Today is Pokémon Day, and today Nintendo should be making some kind of, some kind of Gen 8 reveal, and I am so stoked. And even if they end up not doing it for today, even if they don't do it today, I'm still happy that today is Pokémon Day. As you can see, I am wearing my wife's Evolution shirt. It's a really cool shirt, and I wanted to borrow it for today. So yeah. But yeah, in celebration of Pokemon Day today, I decided that I will be making a video ranking all of the generations that have come thus far from worst to best. And when I say worst, by no means do I mean that the game is terrible. I love all of the generations. I love all of the games. Just, I like some generations better than others. And so, yeah, let's get right on into it. I'm super excited. Number 7, Generation 1. I am going to get so much heat for this, but Gen 1 is kind of the least good generation, and it's to no fault of its own. I mean, it definitely paved the way for all of the other Pokemon games, all of the other generations to come, and you have to give Generation 1 the respect that it deserves. But, objectively speaking, it is the least good generation. I mean, objectively speaking, it's a very broken, glitchy mess of a game. A fun, broken, glitchy mess of a game, but a broken, glitchy mess of a game all the same. And, it's definitely fun. It definitely, got us to where we are today. If it weren't for Gen 1, there wouldn't be Pokemon, but I'm sorry, just the other generations are just objectively better. And they did remake the Gen 1 did get remakes. It got 2 different Kanto remakes, and both times they were really good. They were so much better because they weren't buggy as all hell. But again, I still like Gen 1, just it's the least good generation in my opinion. Number 6, Generation 2. I love Gen 2. Crystal was my first ever Pokemon game. But I'm sorry, Heart Gold and Soul Silver did it better. And, it's, again, it fixed so many problems with Gen 1. Basically, whatever problems there were with Gen 1, Gen 2 fixed it. All the bugs, all the glitches, the type balancing, they introduced Seal and Dark types. Just, Gen 2 was amazing. And I really hate that I have to put it this low on the list. Just because Gen 2 was so good. But, I'm sorry, Gold, Silver, and Crystal aren't as good as Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And because, Gen 4 covers Gen 2 in a better way, it's, I'm sorry, it's just not as good as the other ones on this list, unfortunately. But I do really love Gen 2. Number 5, Gen 6. I really feel bad about this because I thoroughly enjoyed Gen 6. I mean, so many people have said that, X and Y were terrible games. They're not terrible games. They're just, and everyone says that they're easy, and I can't disagree with them. It's not the, it's not the levels. It's not the, it's not, what is going on in the story that makes it easy. It's just, it's not even the EXP share. Everyone blames the EXP share. It's not the EXP share. It's the fact that the AI for all of the trainers, all of the AI has been dumbed down so severely. And, it's X and Y are still fun games. Really, really fun games. And, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I love Gen 3, so, I loved Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but it's just something about it just wasn't as good. I mean, other than the Delta episode, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire didn't really add all that much to the... Well, okay, I shouldn't say that, but I don't know. I just feel really, really conflicted about this pick. Gen 6 was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's just not as good as everything else on the list. And it really pains me to say that, because I did thoroughly enjoy Gen 6. Like, really, really enjoyed Gen 6. Number 4. Gen 7. Gen 7 gets so much undeserved hate. I love Gen 7. Gen 7 was amazing. Just, oh my gosh. Alola was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Alola. I mean, sure, it's a little bit slow starting up, but, it's mostly cutscenes. And, cutscenes do enhance the story. And sure, they throw in the tutorial within the cutscenes, but, it's bearable. It's fine. Once you get past it, it's just so much fun right out of the gate. Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, people were complaining about, Ultra Sun and Moon being, not different enough of a story, to justify, it existing. But, they should have, made Ultra Sun and Moon instead. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed the differences. Just so many tiny little things add up as you go along your journey, and it just all culminates in the climax, and it's so good. It's so enjoyable. There are differences that I like. Some things I like about, Sun and Moon more, some things I like in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon more. It's basically like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were basically like Emerald or Platinum, that third version for the games that just enhanced it. And I mean, no one complained about Emerald, no one complained about Platinum, so why are people complaining about Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon? And then on top of that, we got Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I'm thoroughly enjoying Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Like, we get to go back to Kanto, and we see it in just this beautiful just such beautiful graphics. And I mean sure, we don't get access to abilities, held items, and Pokemon other than the original 151, but it's okay. I actually don't mind that so much. Like, my only nitpick for it is, not having any more Pokemon other than the original 151 and Meltan Melmetal. Only because they don't include the pre-evolutions and evolutions of Kanto Pokemon. And they basically treat them as if they don't exist when they do exist, and that just really messes with my OCD. But that's my only nitpick. I'm just enjoying Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee so much, and yeah. But Gen 7, I'm thoroughly enjoying Gen 7. So haters can hate, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Number 3, Generation 3. So Generation 3 is the generation that I've spent the most amount of time in. And it's not just because Gen 3 was a long generation. I also spent the most amount of time in it because I accidentally, had to skip over Gen 4 for a bit because, at the time I didn't have a DS and I wasn't able to get a DS. And so, I was just, spamming Gens 1 through 3, over and over again, playing the shit out of those. But Gen 3, I just enjoyed the most, like, by far. Maybe it's just because everything just looked so beautiful at the time. Like, the sprite work. Gen 3 was the first time we had such, detailed and colorful and beautiful sprite work. To Gen 1's credit and to Gen 2's credit, they got the point across, but Gen 3, Gen 3 was something else. And it just blew everyone's minds when, it was first going. And we got to go back to Kanto again, and, not only was it not a broken mess, but also, they actually added more content with the inclusion of the Sevi Islands. So yeah, because, I spent the most amount of time in Gen 3, particularly with, Ruby and Sapphire and a little bit in, Emerald, it's always gonna have a special place in my heart. And honestly, if it weren't for the fact that, the physical special split didn't exist yet, this would easily be number 2. But because, the physical special split didn't exist yet, it kind of brings it down, internally, just because I've been disillusioned to the whole, I've just been disillusioned to the whole, how the metagame works. And that does bring it down for me a little bit, but, I still absolutely love Gen 3. Like, it's, I really wish that, my copies of, Gens 1 through 3, I really wish those copies of those games hadn't been stolen, because I would really love to, play through all of those gens again, but, I just can't, because, I could, I'd just have to rebuy the games, but, just those particular save files just were very special to me, and it sucks that they were stolen. But, anyway, on to the next one. Number 2, Gen 5. Gen 5 is easily the most controversial generation, but honestly, I don't see why. Some of the, half of the new Pokemon designs weren't great. I still enjoyed them, though. And just, Gen 5 is what got me back into Pokemon after all of my, games got stolen. I finally eventually was able to get a DS around the time that Black and White were coming out, and, even, I was still, going over, the coverage and, the, everything for Gens 4 and 5 while, as they were going. And, Gen 5 was just coming out, and, I was really excited for it. And I finally got a DS, and I'm actually not the one who got White version. My brother did, but, because he's not an actual Pokemon fan, he was never able to get into it even when we were kids. He just got bored with it right away and let me have it. So I played the shit out of White. And so yeah, and then, honestly, Black and White 2 are debatably even better sequels than Gen 2 is to Gen 1. Because it's an actual continuation of the story. Sure, the events of, Gold, Silver, Crystal take place, 3 years after the events of, Red and Blue. But Black and White 2 take place 2 years later, and you actually see everything change. Like, just so much about the region itself has changed. And, I really enjoyed Gen 5. And honestly, the Pokemon designs didn't bother me all that much. And, the story was, like, easily its best asset. And I don't know, everything about the region was really pretty. I really enjoyed the music. A lot of the features. Pokemon brought their A game to Gen 5, and, other than the Pokemon designs, I admit, are a bit hit and miss, but everything else, they brought their A game to. And, again, Gen 5 is the most controversial generation, but, I still love it. Number 1, Generation 4. If you haven't already figured it out, it's easily, hands down, Gen 4. Gen 4 just did so much right. Like, Gen 4 was the epitome of Pokemon. I don't care what anyone says. It was the epitome. Yes, I really like all the games that have come out since Gen 4, but Gen 4 was just so good. I mean, sure, Diamond and Pearl were a bit slow, but they fixed that in Platinum, as well as Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And Platinum and Soul Silver are what I played, and it was just so good. It was so thoroughly enjoyable. Like, easily, Heart Gold and Soul Silver are easily the greatest Pokemon games of all time. And Platinum was just superb. Like, okay, so when you go to the distortion world, that whole thing with Giratina, even though I knew you couldn't actually fall off the edges and whatnot because, the game wouldn't let you, I was actually legitimately scared of the distortion world. I was like pretty much, I was in my late teens when I finally got to play Platinum, and when I finally got to play Platinum and Soul Silver for the first time, because I didn't have a DS, but even as being someone in my late teens, I was legitimately scared of the distortion world. They put it just exerted so much pressure. Just, oh my gosh, the story just, the climax of the story was just, it's beyond words. Just so beyond words. And just, it's great. It's great. Just so much about it was unsettling, and it really got to me. It just, everything spoke to me. And, again, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, easily, hands down, the greatest Pokemon games of all time. Excuse me. But the thing about Gen 4 that makes it the best generation, not just because, all the games were, like, some of the best games Pokemon has ever put out, but also, something about Gen 4 just felt complete. It just felt complete. Like Pokemon could end with Gen 4. Just something about it felt, I don't know. It just felt complete. And I think, sure, it probably has to do with, Gen 5 being like a soft reboot for the franchise, but Gen 4 just tied everything together so perfectly. And, Pokemon hasn't, like, felt that complete since. The closest we've gotten is, Gen 7 to feeling that amount of completeness. But, at the same time with Gen 7, we know that Gen 8 is on the way. And, just, there's a new beginning coming up. and I don't know. Just something about Gen 4 just felt complete. And, you know, they could have ended it with Gen 4. I'm glad that they didn't. Like, I am so glad that they didn't end it with Gen 4 because, you know, Pokemon has, you know, evolved, pun intended, just beyond anything we could have ever imagined. And I'm glad that they continued, but just something about Gen 4 just felt so complete. And I don't know if I'll ever feel that kind of completeness again. Okay, so that was my opinions on each generation and me ranking them in order from, you know, what I consider to be the least good to easily the best one. And again, I love every single one of these games. I love every single one of these generations. I am a hardcore fan. But again, I just, you know, my opinion is my opinion. And let me know what your opinion is down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm so psyched for Pokemon Day. I really hope we get some kind of Gen 8 reveal, but even if we don't, it's okay. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye! I had to do so many takes and, you know, reshots with this video just because of this little one right here. My very own in real life Pokemon. Because, you know, she was a stray, I actually caught her. And, oh, she is just so cute. But she has been so annoying during the process of making this video. Because she was determined to run around and make noise. It's okay, baby. I love you. Okay, I'll let you go now.